Sometimes if you want to add users, bulk users, just test users, let's say, just to test it out in Commvault, you can go to this website. It's called testdatahub.com. In there, you can download some of the data, CSV files, essentially. So we can start with 100 or 200 or whatever you want. I tried it with 10,000. It didn't work. I tried it with 500. It didn't work either really well. So I just said I'll do a 100, and you can generate. You just click on generate data, and it changes the amount of data. Some of the issues you may run into is when you have passwords that are not suitable, like 8 characters, upper, lower, special character, etc. So you have to go in, and I'll show you how to change that one rather than use this one. Anyway, so we're going to generate data. We'll go over to our users. So we'll go to manage on our CommServe, manage, and users, or security, users. Once in users, you click on add user. I already have some data here. So add user, single user, and create local users in bulk. And we're going to upload the file and choose your user group. The one thing that probably helped this is if you just click on use system generated password. That would probably be easier. Oh wait, no, you can't do that. You don't want to do that one. If you do that, you're going to have these email addresses. The system will send out emails to the password. And you don't want that because you don't know if this is a real human or not. So don't click that, actually. But in some of these settings for the fake data, some of these are not going to be good. They're going to fail because they're not upper, lower, or special, etc. Some of those passwords may fail on that regard. Anyway, click add. That's only 100, so it's gonna add them if they're not there already. It's gonna add them to it. And when I worked with MSP, we had one CommServe. Well, it managed more than one, but on one CommServe we had maybe, like the local company I worked for, we had maybe 50 people, 50 users, 50 people, 50 local users on Commvault, and it was Active Directory. And then, yeah, this is some of the errors you might run into because some of them not, and it needs like one special, lower, etc. Yeah. Anyway, and the MSP, if you have an MSP and you have 1,000 users, you probably have, like we had maybe 20 customers on one CommServe, so we had a tenant, multi-tenant CommServe. And if you have 1,000, that just means you probably have a huge CommServe, very large database, a lot of media agents, a lot of your CommServe is pretty big, essentially. If you have 1,000 users that are logging in or that have access to it, and these individuals would be logging in the CommServe, just downloading a software package, maybe doing their own file restore, stuff like that is what they would. Why would you have users anyway? So we're just going to click refresh on the CommServe. It's going to load again. And go over to security and users. And now we have our users there. Of course, we have 45, so that just means a lot of them didn't have 45 pages, so whatever that is. It's a lot of users. Yeah, this is really nice, the fake data here. Really a nice site here. Testdatahub.com. Really nice. Yeah, I'm working on something where my next video, let's say, where I create users in Active Directory, random users in Active Directory. Right now I have it set up nicely, but it just generates like a test user, whatever you name it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So right now I'm working on this script here, the PowerShell script. Basically, when I'm done with it, it's going to be able to import the data, that generated file, the CSV file, 10,000 users, whatever, to Active Directory. I just got to work on it a little bit to get I'm having an issue with the path, but I'll figure it out. And the other one I was talking about was you have the import. So this is a script to a PowerShell script that if you want a username, and all it would do is just have an integer afterwards. So it'd be like Commvault 001 or whatever number you want, and then you generate how many thousands of those in Active Directory. And then this is a script here for it. Generates a temporary password for Active Directory. This is good if you're a home lab, if you wanted to test it out and get your home lab ready and stable with Commvault. And then after that, I'm going to be setting up the Kubernetes for Commvault. I got Docker Desktop set up, but I'm going to be able to get it, be able to protect Kubernetes essentially in the application. And then afterwards, like the final thing, or the nice to have, let's say, would be to install Commvault, the Commvault Docker container. Yeah, this is essentially what I want to do here is create a CommServe. So you got your command center, index server, web server, gateway, CommServe, your media agents. And basically this is what I want to create. The thing with this is you need to install Helm. So I'm still working to resolve that issue and get it working. So that's a bit of a challenge. I don't know why you would want to use Commvault as a Docker. It's already a pain in the butt anyway to get it installed on a Windows server. Even a Linux server too, it's even a pain to get it on both of those. The memory, it just takes tremendous amount of memory on Windows. And I know a lot of people are moving to Linux, the comm servers are. Yeah, and maybe eventually they go to Docker, but right now it's a little bit of a challenge essentially to get it. It's not just quick like this where you go Docker pull and then you install it. It doesn't really work that way actually. And you got to have a pretty beefy comm serve or a pretty beefy environment anyway if you want to run these type of applications on your environment. For instance, let's just go over real quick here, shall we? Yeah, so installing it here. So you got all these prerequisites essentially. So you can't do CommServe live sync, fine. You can't do live browse. This right here, Helm. So before you even do Helm is like Docker essentially. You have to install Docker or Docker Desktop. Then you have to install Kubernetes on Docker Desktop, or you have to install you can do it in Linux or Windows. And then after that, you have to install Helm essentially, the repository for Helm, and then you at the charts, download the charts, and then you upgrade it. Then it starts, and it's magical. But imagine those out there who run Commvault. Imagine this step here. It's not an easy button. Commvault seems there used to be in version 8, version 9. They used to have pictures. You can log into the CommServe, the cloud, the tutorial page, documentation, whatever, and you'd have pictures and it's be next. Now it's almost like they wrote it, almost like an engineer wrote it. Just a person that just like words, and I get it. They want to save money because if you have images on a web server, then it takes up space and then load time and caching. I get it. But for those out there who are trying to just get it working so that you can get a job in Commvault, boy, I'll tell you right now. Anyway, in my opinion, this is not, the MSPs aren't going to use this in my opinion right now. They may in the future, but right now they're not. It's difficult for people just to install this. Imagine an MSP. Forget it. You'd have to have dedicated, just forget about it. And then you'd have to have users to access it. We're just not there yet as a technology. That's all I'm saying. they're going to stick. I think you're just going to stick with CommServe as a Windows environment, and they'll probably update it to Linux eventually. Like most environments will update to Linux, and then they'll just wait. And they'll pause there. And if the technology moves and it becomes easier to install this stuff, then they'll probably move to Docker or Helm or Kubernetes, etc. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and I'll try to get more out in the future. Thanks. Bye.